Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Jason Bibilen, aka Uganizon118, and I will be discussing today about environmental science. Okay, so I am Jason Bibilen and I am a registered chemist for almost 5 years already, and I'm teaching science-related subject here in Negros Oriental State University as well as chemistry subjects here. Okay, so for today, we will discuss about introduction in environmental science, environmental problems and issues, and especially the main theme for this course is about sustainability. Okay, so let's move to the first lesson, which talks about environmental problems, their causes, and sustainability. According to Lester R. Brown, no civilization has survived the ongoing destruction of its natural support system, nor will ours. So, what is sustainability? As I have mentioned earlier, that the main theme for this book is actually sustainability. Okay, so sustainability is the capacity of the Earth's natural systems and human cultural systems to survive, flourish, and adapt to changing environmental conditions into the very long term future. Okay, from the Webster Dictionary, sustainability is the ability to sustain, even in a very long term future. Okay, so its ability to sustain, even though there are drastic environmental conditions or there are drastic changes from time to time. Okay, so in environment or sustainability in the environment is the capacity of our Earth's natural system and as well as the human cultural system to survive, flourish, okay, and adapt to changing environmental conditions from generation to generation. And also, it should be for the very long term future. Okay, so to fully understand sustainability, I have here some pictures that you can actually uh, make impressions or make opinions on how the sustainability can be applied. Okay, so here we are. So this photo was taken at the Manhuyud Sandbar here in Negros Oriental. Okay, so Manhuyud Sandbar is a very popular tourist spot for Negros Oriental. It's actually considered to be the Maldives of the Philippines. Okay, so these are only some pictures that I have taken. I was there last April 9, 2021. Okay, so as you have seen that these photos were or that this place have a good a, a good quality, okay, in terms of the environment. Okay, so it's nice there because there are a lot of uh, um, marine resources that are actually present there, and also the place is very clean, although there are a lot of tourists that are actually coming. But then the sustainability there is that even though the place were occupied by or by and the place were occupied and also used by the people there, but then the beauty of the nature still is still there, and there are no wastes, okay, that were actually introduced there by the tourists. Okay, so they actually have some cleaning after they use the place. Okay, so if there are garbages that are present there, so they clean up those garbages in order for to maintain the beauty of the place. Okay, so that is how sustainability should be done. Okay, that's just a simple picture that we should maintain the beauty of that place in order for that place to be sustained in a very long term or in long-term future, okay, in a very long, in a longer time, okay, so that, and also it will also affect the marine resources there, especially the fishes there, okay, and also species that are actually present, okay, there, and also there are also dolphins there, which actually you can watch at 7 a.m. Okay, so to maintain their territories of those dolphins, okay, so we have to maintain the the beauty of that environment there. Okay, so we must, so that that place should be considered to attain its sustainability. Okay, so another one or another example is the marine sanctuary in Darwin. Okay, so the marine sanctuary in Darwin is a very nice and a very good view if you have scuba diving, if you want to have scuba diving there. Okay, so the view of their coral reefs is very amazing and beautiful, okay, as well as the biodiversity of species of fish there, okay. So the sustainability there is that these coral reefs are actually uh, survive in a very long condition because there there is what we call a law, okay, there is a law that govern this sanctuary to be preserved, okay, or protected from any external forces that could actually destroy the 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 marine environment, okay, or this sanctuary here, okay. So all of those fishes there will be uh, will not be caught by any fisherman, okay, or any tourist there because if these fishes are actually in the sanctuary itself, okay. So they have the what we call the bantay dagat there, or the guardsmen there to guard the marine sanctuary in order for it to be protected and preserved. Okay, so for these corals not to be destroyed because these corals or the coral reefs are the home for a different biodiversities of species of fish there. Okay, so it's very evident that sustainability as its finest or at its finest, I mean, on this place or on this sanctuary, okay, in order for it to be preserved and to be protected and to be sustained in a very long period of time, okay. How about the next picture? Okay, so this picture was taken at the Kandawai landfills, okay, or the Kandawai dump site there. So as you can see that the garbages coming from the entire Dumaguete or the homes of the entire Dumaguete is actually dumped there. Okay, so from time to time, okay, the garbages or those wastes, okay, coming from homes will eventually uh, multiply and make a bigger and make a mountain of garbages, okay. So it's because that those plastics that were actually used by humans and also the people in Dumaguete are non-biodegradable, so they cannot be decomposed, or they can be decomposed, but it's a very at a very long period of time, okay, so it takes time to these plastics to be decomposed. So therefore the resulting implication for this is that you will make a mountain of garbages, and if this case, if it will continue, okay, if it will continue that the people in Dumaguete will continue to use plastics and also make those plastics to be waste rather than recycle those plastics, okay, then this mountain of garbages will eventually make a Mount Everest of garbages. Okay, so this will actually affect human health. Okay, and also the environment, especially that this dump site or this landfill is actually near the river. Okay, it will affect the water quality there. Okay, in the river, especially the 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 organisms there. Okay, that are present, and it's because of the what we call the leaching contaminants, okay, coming from this a mountain of garbages, okay. So like for example, during rainy season, the leaching of these contaminants will eventually go to the river, okay, which contains pollutants and other hazardous heavy metals, okay. Heavy metals are also being transported there, okay, and it will go to the river, and at the same time if it will also go to the our groundwater, which can also be contaminated, okay. And and of course our groundwater is our source for uh, water supply here in Dumaguete, okay. So the Dumaguete City Water District, and now known as the Metro Water District, okay, is will face that challenge, okay, because of the leaching of the contaminants and will eventually contaminate the groundwater. And as we all know that our groundwater is actually used in our homes, and especially here in Dumaguete, the water that they supply us is actually safe to drink. Okay, we are ensured that this is a safe as is safe to drink. I actually drink at our faucet. Okay, so by the time or from time to time that all of these garbages uh, will have a greater impact in the environment, okay, it will actually contaminate our groundwater, and it will affect us as humans, especially in our health, okay, and also the animals that are surrounding or that are near the dam site, as well as the river there. And in this case, at the future times, okay, the question now will, does the environment or the Earth's natural system will eventually survive or flourish or adapt to these environmental changes? And also the human, does the human or does the people around there can actually adapt, okay, survive or flourish? Okay, so from time to time, it contaminates the river and also the groundwater. So thus the human can actually survive or adapt to the change in environment. So that is the main theme for this course. It's actually sustainability. Okay? So before we effectively apply sustainability in the environment, we should study first of what we call the environmental science. Sustainability is the main theme and the overarching theme of the book, okay? And that is our goal to apply sustainability in the environment. But before that, we must also uh, have the knowledge of how do we deal environmental problems, okay, by studying environmental science. So what do you mean by environmental science? So first is we are going to define what is an environment, okay. So environment is actually everything that around us, okay. So that includes the living, which we can also say it's a biotic or biota, okay? And non-living, which is abiotic or non-living things, okay? Which we interact in a complex web of relationships that connects us to one another and the world we live in. Okay, so that is the environment, or it encompasses everything, both the living and the non-living things. So the air that we breathe, okay, that is part of the environment. The plants, the trees, okay, the soil, what else? So everything that you can see around you are all part of the environment. Although that although the humans have the ability to make technological advances and also scientific researches that will make our life easier, but but humans or the animals or everything around us depend on our life support system, or the on the earth life support system. Okay, we make use of the resources that around us to actually support us, okay, in a way that we can survive, we can adapt, and we can flourish. Okay, and therefore, from that environment, we can now define environmental science. Okay? So environmental science is actually an interdisciplinary study of how humans interact with the environment. So it's actually a so from the root word science, which means we can define science as the systematized body of knowledge, okay, based on facts and observation. Okay? So, in order to fully understand what is happening on the environment and how living things and non living things interact with each other, or in the complex web of relationship, okay, so we must have to study environmental science, because environmental science is actually an interdisciplinary study. So when we say interdisciplinary, it includes a large scope of natural sciences, like for example chemistry, biology, okay, psychology, okay, and we have also political science, okay. Political science is also involved in the study of environmental science, okay, because there are also laws that can be governed in order to protect and to preserve the environment, okay. And also ethics is also part of the environmental science. So it is an interdisciplinary study because the natural sciences will integrate that information in order to fully understand the concept of environmental science. Okay? So do you understand that? Main focus of the environmental science is actually the study of ecology. Okay, but before that, we should go first to the three goals of the environmental science. We have number one is to learn how life on earth has survived and thrived. Okay, number two is to understand how we interact with the environment, and number three is to find ways to deal with environmental problems and to live more sustainably. So these are the three goals of environmental science. And as we go along with this course, we will fully understand the three goals of environmental science. So the key component of studying environmental science, ecology. Okay? So ecology is the biological science, okay, that studies how living organisms or how living things interact with one another and their environment. Okay, so that is what ecology means. And this group of organisms can also be called species. Okay, so species is a group of organisms that has a unique set of characteristics that distinguish it from other groups of organisms. So organisms can be classified with different species. Okay, so you have species of fish and species of mammals, or species of dogs or cats, or a species of birds. Okay, so these are group of organisms that has unique set of characteristics, okay, that distinguish them from other groups. So main focus for ecology is the study of the ecosystem. Okay, so ecosystem is a set of organisms within a defined area of land or volume of water that interact with one another and with their environment of non-living matter and energy. So ecosystem is a bigger scope, okay? Because it actually defines, or it's a study, or it actually defines a set of area of land or volume of water. Okay, so what is actually happening, or the interaction of the organisms to that environment at that defined area. Okay, so for example, like you have marine environment or marine ecosystem, okay, or the forest ecosystem. Okay, like for example, a marine ecosystem. So what will be the in at that defined area of the volume of water? For example, marine sanctuary. Okay, so the ecosystem there. So what is actually the interaction of those living matter or living things to the environment, which actually both the non-living and the matter there, and also the energy. Okay, in the forest, what are the interactions of the set of organisms there, or the species there, with the environment or of non-living matter and energy? Okay, so so let us not also confuse with environmental science and also ecosystem, okay, with the environmentalism. Okay, the environmentalism is actually the application, okay, the application of the knowledge that we gain when we study environmental science. And because we are aware of the environmental problems, so we make a movement, okay, that dedicate us to sustain the Earth's life support system for all forms of life. So that is actually environmentalism. Okay, so it's actually a social movement that dedicated to trying to sustain the Earth's life supporting system for all forms of life. So it's actually an application. Okay, so it could be actually environmentalism is more on political and ethical, okay, arena. Okay, so it's more on there because the political science or the political arena can actually make laws, okay, so they can apply what they have learned about environmental problems, and on that case they can actually pass no they can make laws, okay, or regarding how do we preserve or protect the environment in order for the environment to have its sustainable life. Okay, so that's it. So environmentalism is the application. Okay, so when we have the awareness already of what is happening in the environment, okay, so we make movement in order to sustain the Earth's life support system. However, the environmentalism has been more evident in the political areas and also in the ethical areas. Okay, but also some of the colleges, okay, and campuses already started this kind of propaganda and also this kind of movement, okay, to fully protect or to protect and to sustain the life support system. Okay, so that is what we call the environmentalism.